T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Coach on Fire Radio.
I am the tide, dancing through the fire. I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
Well, hello there, my business-owning entrepreneurial friends. It's Jason Withers here, live with the Profit Leaders radio show on Coach on Fire Radio. Thanks very much for listening in today, and I hope you have had a great day or you're partway through a great working day today. Always very happy to be here. It's been a beautiful sunny day here in southeast England today. 28 Celsius, around about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, all very summer-like and untraditional for us Brits, but I'll take it whenever we can get it. Hopefully it's sticking around for the rest of the week, so we're looking forward to that. A couple of housekeeping items for us before we get into the main part of today's show, where we're going to be talking to my special guest today, Merideth Bisiker. Merideth is going to be talking to us about money stress in the workplace and how we can help ease that pain. So for any of our new listeners, Profit Leaders radio show is brought to you by Coach on Fire Radio, and it's a fortnightly show which airs at midday PST, 3 p.m. EST and 8 p.m. GMT. Every other Monday. So our next show after this one will be on Monday, the 9th of July at the same time. And you can obviously subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and obviously catch up on any episodes you may have missed. And of course, to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. So you can also follow me on social media, and that's through my Facebook page at Jason A. Withers. And also you can access my free Facebook community of the same name as the radio show, The Profit Leaders there. Instagram and Twitter also at Jason A. Withers. So for those of you that haven't met me before, I'm a profit growth strategist, profit mentor and profit maker for both entrepreneurs and owner-managed businesses. And I help ambitious business owners to make sure that they live a more profitable existence. That means a more fulfilling life for you, more time and freedom to do more of the things that you want to do. So most importantly for me, we do it simply, we do it efficiently, and we do it together. I believe that hard work shouldn't go unrewarded, and unfortunately, so often it does. Brilliance of an individual or an idea that turns into a business is where it all starts. It evolves and grows typically just because it does. Decisions get made, we work off gut instinct, we graft. But often it's reactive and not intentional behavior that drives us. So the thing that we have to ask ourselves is, where's the profit to match the effort that we put in? And too often that profit isn't there in the quantity that it should be, or indeed could be. And that's what this show is all about, trying to make sure we find plenty of ways for you to tap into the profit in your business. Too often we miss the fact that the profit and the things in life just don't come together. We're actually too busy working to actually go and earn the profit. Bizarre as that sounds, too often it's the case. So for all of you who pour your soul into your business and base the dreams that you have on your business, I want to make sure that you fully benefit from your efforts and experience and get the rewards from the profit that your energy investment deserves. So in the coming weeks, I'll be continuing to interview a series of guests who will help us to all create more profitable businesses, sharing their expertise. But most importantly, we're going to learn how to utilize that expertise to generate profit in our own businesses as well. So before we get into all the goodness that Merideth is going to be talking to us about today, I'd just like to take a few seconds here to recap on the simplicity of the Profit Leaders methodology. Remember, there's only 3 things that will ever influence our profitability, and that's sales, margin, and overhead. And in the course of today's discussion, we're going to be concentrating a little bit more around margin and overhead for sure, but the principle will also apply to people who work in direct sales roles, perhaps in your company, or if you employ external agencies, it will definitely be affecting them. And for those people, we want to make sure they're really on their game all the time. So we have to make sure that we support them wherever we can. So if you missed previous shows, just to let you know, you can catch up through my Facebook page, and you can grab the download which will talk you through that methodology and also show you a worked example showing small changes can make some massive differences to your bottom line. And in fact, there's an example in that download where you can actually see how little a change it may actually take to create double the profit in your business. So go and check that out, get it downloaded. So I believe in profit as the commercial imperative, the commercial non-negotiable, if you like. Why is that? Because profit gives you choices in life. More profit gives us more freedom, which gives us more choices, which allows us to make more impact. And as entrepreneurs in this world, that's the thing that tends to drive most of us. It's the impact that we can have on transforming the lives of others. That may be on a personal level, it could be in our businesses, and it could be socially as well. But the point is, profit is the thing that helps us choose. So it really is that simple to me, and I want it to be for you too. So let's get on with today's show and discover how we can help make our businesses more profitable by addressing today's topic, money stress in the workplace. So, as I said, my special guest today is Merideth Bisiker, who is a certified holistic life coach and certified money coach, helping people successfully exit money crises and create healthy relationships with money. Merideth uses a holistic and traditional life coaching method to help her clients move toward the future that they want. She also leans into 2.5 decades of experience working in banking and finance to provide her clients with resources and tools for their finances. You can connect with Merideth through her website, meridethbisiker.com, and we'll get all the links for you in the posts and the replay that goes out after the show today. So there's no harm in you missing out on how to contact her there. So, money problems for your employees, they are your problems as well. But we're going to find out today how to identify and address those issues with our employees. We'll be talking about how much time and productivity is lost in the workplace due to money stress, why your bottom line depends on you knowing when your employees need help, how to identify the employees who are struggling with their finances, how to support them, and how to find help for them, how to create an ongoing financial health check. So, plenty to get into there today. We'll be tying it all back in to profit in some way, shape or form in our discussion. So, we can work hard for our profit, or we can choose to learn how to make profit in the most efficient way for our business. Now, I don't know about you, Merideth, but I've yet to meet an entrepreneur that doesn't want to know more about how to make a bigger profit whilst enjoying more time freedom and a less problematic life. What do you say to that?
I would say yes, I agree.
It's a pretty straightforward answer, actually, isn't it?
It's pretty straightforward. The trick is learning how to enjoy that profit when it starts happening as well.
Absolutely, and relax with it and not feel guilty about it, of course, which is a core block that people tend to have, which is such a shame, because if you put all of this energy into earning that profit in the first place, it's important that we do get comfortable and settled in a way that means we do feel good about how we utilize that profit. So before we get into the main part of our conversation today, I wonder if you could just share with us, can you tell us a little bit about you as a business person? What would you want people to know here today? What are your top characteristics? What do you bring out to play when you're dealing with your clients?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for having me, by the way, Jason.
You are so welcome.
Excited about this conversation. So what do I bring to my clients? I think the number one characteristic that I bring to our coaching sessions is that as soon as my clients sit with me, they always tell me how trustworthy I am, how they feel so comfortable talking to me about their money problems. And that's really important, Jason, because as we know, talking about money can feel very uncomfortable. There are a lot of topics around money that are taboo over here in North America still, probably in England too. And it's something that if someone's looking for a money coach or an advisor, they want to feel comfortable being able to talk about it. And you probably end up in that very same role.
Very, very much so. And I think it's one of the other things that I would also say that I come across, which is very much aligned to that, is this idea that people don't understand how we can be so neutral about money. And I would put this in sort of the context of saying, the clients that I deal with, I don't really mind if they earn $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $100,000, $1 million. It really doesn't matter, because the principles that we work to are all the same anyway. The integrity and trust piece is clearly really important within that, from a person-to-person premise. And getting people settled and feeling that they can share the information. In actual fact, for us to help them as best as we can, we need the information as well. We need to understand what's really going on in there in order to apply the expertise in our various ways, of course.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start with a personal question, if I may.
Sure.
And just ask, what was it that made you feel the need to help others address their own money concerns? Was it, did you have a money crisis of your own? Is it something within your, I'll say in your family history maybe that came to bear or came to light? What was the catalyst for it?
Yeah, it was my own money crisis. That's the short version of it. About 6 years ago, we were just starting, my husband and I were just starting to come out of a money crisis that we encountered for about a year and a half. After our youngest daughter was born, he was laid off literally like weeks later. And we were very excited because it finally gave us the impetus to start our own business. He's a heating and air conditioning technician. And we thought, okay, this is going to go really well. It didn't go as well as we wanted it to. It probably would have been okay if I could have gone back to work full time, but I couldn't because our youngest daughter has autism. So she wasn't able to go into care full time. So what happened was we ended up in this spiral. I always call it like this money spiral where things are just getting worse and worse. My shame was just amplified because having worked in finance and banking, I felt like I should have known better. How did we get to this point? How did we like plow through our savings and all this debt was adding up. And finally, my husband decided that he would work away. So here in Canada, a lot of men are working in the oil fields in Alberta. It's pretty normal. They go away for a few weeks, they come home. It's not ideal, but it's a job. So we did that. Things were getting better. And I was still feeling really stressed. We were starting to put money into savings again. I had a great debt repayment plan. We were doing really, really well, but I was still literally sick to my stomach. I was very, very sick. And I had had enough. I was like, what is going on here? And seriously, Jason, I leaned over to pick up a sock from my floor and I went, oh my gosh, this is totally emotional. They don't teach you that when you go to school to be an accountant. They don't tell you that when you learn, when you become a teller in banking or you go through, the different levels there. And that just sent me on this wonderful journey to find every single book I could find. I have goosebumps once again, every time I tell this story. I needed to find everything I could about the emotional link to money that we as humans have. And I found a lot of books. The internet revealed so much. So Google emotion and money. You'll get a lot of great resources. And there's one book called Financial Recovery by Karen McCall. That book changed my life. I was sitting on my couch reading it, and after I read her intro, I thought, I need to tell people about this. I need them to know that they don't need to feel ashamed about their money situation. And hence my coaching career started from there.
That's some story, isn't it? Because I think, as you say, there are so many different elements to it, from that very personal family aspect. But then it very much takes having that plan to actually start making your way through. But you talked about something very interesting there, and that's this emotional attachment that people have to all things money, the good, the bad, and clearly the ugly in there as well. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm interested to know, do you see that the emotional attachment, does it crop up in the same way with entrepreneurs? Does it crop up in the same way as people who run corporates or brick and mortar, I would say traditional style businesses, where employer-employee type businesses? How does that tend to manifest itself?
Yeah, I think the context doesn't matter. It often crops up in very similar ways, because if you think about it, and this is the way I understand it, in the history of humans, we haven't been using money that long. It's something we haven't really had a chance to get used to using. And what's money for? Well, money buys us shelter. It buys us food. It helps us stay safe. And when we don't have it, there's a part of our brain back here, that what people call the lizard brain, that goes into the fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So you've probably seen people who just don't do anything. They just don't know what to do when, for instance, an entrepreneur suddenly doesn't have the sales that they expected, or they get really aggressive and they're out there trying to sell everything to everyone. And then there's all sorts of different reactions, but I think that you can actually group